What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Truly Heavenly here, back again for another video. If you are new, my name is Heavenly. If you are back again, I appreciate you. Thank you. We are here doing things a little bit differently today. I am going to do a get ready with me type of video. I am very light on makeup. Like, I don't wear makeup every day. I don't know how y'all do it. But for me, like this very natural look, I'm going to go through kind of the products that I use, and then you can see how I do things, the techniques, things like that. By no means am I a guru, but I mean, I can look presentable if I'm going out, right? And then you can see that I have a twist out, and so this is the final look. So if you're interested, keep on watching. And I've already primed my face, so we can just hop right in with the Fenty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint. So I'm number 19. So I basically just had it on my heart to come on here and talk to you all because I have been just feeling some type of way. Like there's a newness coming and I wanted to be able to share. Nobody asked. Y'all didn't ask me to talk about this, but I just feel like talking about, you know, your mid 20 somethings or your late 20 somethings and this quarter life crisis thing, which I didn't know was a real thing, but it's really when your mind gets to like thinking about the next steps and what you're going to do next and how you're going to succeed. Are you living your purpose? Like you start having like real thoughts and either you become uneasy, like I've got to do something different, or you just start feeling like you're crazy, like why am I feeling like this? And honestly, it's super normal. So I want to take you back. So it was January of 2020 and it was the scariest moment of my life, time period of my life, I guess you could say. And I mean, literally, my dad had told me, you need to be still. And I was like, because I'm somebody who just can't sit still. Like I'm always moving. I'm always like trying to like plan per se. Like I want things to go in a certain way. So this is what I have to do in order to make it happen. And so I think like 3 or 4 or 5 steps backwards and then 3 or 4 or 5 steps forwards, like on both ends for whatever outcome that I want. And he's like, you need to be still because I'm moving. I'm trying to be there for everybody. I'm trying to, you know, I'm basically overextending myself. And so when he said that, I didn't know how to do that. And I mean, time showed me like I was going to be sitting still for sure. This was right before the pandemic hit. So there was ample time. At the time, I just really didn't know how to do that. So fast forward, I had really bad chest pains and, you know, it was weird because they wouldn't go away. I tried to like drink cold water. I tried to rest. I tried to, you know, do stretches and exercises. Like it was in the center of my abdomen, my stomach, and it hurt so bad. It got to the point where it was like really late at night, I think. I had to call my parents and I had to tell them like, you know, something is wrong. I'm hurting. So they're like, you need to call 911. And I'm like, okay, call 911. Firefighters come and they're like, you know, do you want to go to the hospital? Because at this point, like my son's like in his room playing his game or something. I am in pain and it's like, I'm on the phone with my dad and I'm like, you know, because ambulance bill. Yes, I want to go to the hospital, but I don't want to go in an ambulance. Like, I'm 25 at that time. I don't want to go on it. I've heard about those bills. No, I don't. My dad would take me to the hospital. Thank you. And so I wait for my dad to get there. And quite literally, like, we're in the hospital for hours. They run tests. And they're trying to figure out, like, what's wrong with me. Long story short, they come back and they're like, your blood plate count is really low. Like, we need to admit you to the hospital. So, for women, usually we have around 250,000 to 400,000 blood platelets in our bodies. Well, at the time, I had like 13,000. So they were very scared. That's like, I mean, from what my dad said, near death because people who have like close to 10,000. So I wasn't really understanding like the severity of what was going on. Only that my stomach hurt. Like I was having pains. Everything else that people were talking about, like I felt fine outside of this abdominal pain, right? So anyway, we go into, I get admitted to the hospital. They're running more tests. They're trying to figure out what's going on, what's wrong. By this point, my abdomen stopped hurting, but something was still coming back weird on these blood tests. And they, they want to find out, is it cancer? Is it, a bone disease? Like, they don't know. Finally, they find out it's TTP. Now, that's thrombotic thrombocytopenic purpura. And now, really long term, but essentially that just means your blood platelets. There's a von Willebrand factor that grows in your body, and so there's these enzymes, ADAMTS13, that come and snip the von Willebrand factor so that they don't extend and become too long, because then your blood platelets run into them, they get clogged, they break, and that's why you have a decrease in red blood platelets. And so I was missing the enzyme, the ADAMTS13. So then my von Willebrand factor was like, they were growing. And so at that point, what they determined was, if I fall, or if I run into anything or I hit anything, like, I could essentially have a blood clot in that area, because all of these monomers in my body have extended and could create a blood clot, and they didn't want that to happen, like, near my head or close to any like vital organs or something like that. So I'm like, TTP is super rare. If I were to win something rare, like, couldn't it be the lottery or something? Not this rare autoimmune disease, which is essentially a blood disorder, and doctors don't know much about it. And it's just like, what is life? Like, at this time, I'm trying to figure out, go figure, I would get something like this, and it's so, it's so new for doctors. Like, they really don't know much about it or how they should treat it. Like, there are very few doctors who are knowledgeable in this particular autoimmune disease. So I'm in the hospital for 2 weeks. Each day I have to get these blood transfusions, which essentially take out my plasma, and they add, oh, by the way, I'm using Tarte Shape Tape contour concealer, and this is the color Tan Deep Sand. I got the sample version because I wanted to try Shape Tape. It's pretty good. I like this shade. I think that it does highlight my eyes. So I probably will go back and get the full size version, but don't let me forget to tell y'all about what products I'm using, okay? So anyway, they essentially take the blood plasma out of me, or the plasma, out of me, and then they insert fresh new plasma. When they would do this, and I probably should have taken pictures now that I think about it, when they would do this, my plasma will be in a medical, bag, and it would be like blood orange, like very dark orange, and your plasma is supposed to be like a yellowish, like a clear yellow color. So that essentially just proved that, yes, my blood platelets had broken up, and so the plasma that they were taking out was affected or impacted by that. So I had to get these blood transfusions, and if you see, I have this scar here where I had to get surgery, and they put a stent like near my clavicle so that they could do the transfusion each day. They would just hook it up. It was just hanging out the side of my neck. And I did this for, the 2 to 3 days that they had to figure out what I had. Up until February 3rd, when I got out, I had to get blood transfusions every day. And now the thing about this was, I was getting donated plasma. And this is where I really feel like I had this sort of enlightenment. I had to get this, plasma transfusion one day, and my Grammy was there. I always had somebody with me. I could just never thank my family enough for how much support that I had during this time, because it was very scary, but like, then again, it wasn't. It was more so like, what's going on? The doctors are freaking out. Like, they're saying all of these things like, oh, this could happen and this could happen, all negative things. I'm fine. Like, I'm feeling okay. And they have, they had other plans, right? But God's plan, obviously showed out amongst all. So got this blood transfusion, and imagine, I'm allergic to bananas and cats. So imagine like somebody who had a cat and ate bananas all the time before they donated this blood plasma. Well, I had their plasma going into my body, and I had an allergic reaction. Like, I went into anaphylactic shock. It was the scariest moment of my life. Like, my face swelled up so big, I couldn't breathe. And I was telling them, like, I need medicine. Like, I need some sort of... And they had already prepped me with allergy medicine beforehand. But it was like, I needed more because things were shutting down, right? And I was freaking out. Now I'm going to go in Laura Mercier powder. And this is the setting powder or translucent powder in medium deep. So I was going through this allergic reaction. And my Grammy was there at the time. But it was like, I was just thinking about, like, my mom. Like, I really wish my mom was there. She had rearranged her schedule to be there every day, but she would work in the mornings and then come in the afternoon. So I was getting this done at like 11 o'clock. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Like, it was so scary. Like, I didn't know if I was going to die. And, you know, my Grammy had got my mom on the phone at least, but it wasn't the same because she wasn't there. And I was just super scared because I could feel myself, like, I couldn't breathe. So anyway, they got me the allergy medicine and things calmed down. I can show you a picture. My face had already began to, you know, go down, but I can show you a picture here of what I looked like. And I did not look like myself. It was one of those things where it was an aha moment. Like I said, this was the moment that I really was like, what is life? Like, what am I doing with my life? I'm trying to figure out. Like, I had already felt like there was going to be a change. Like, good was coming because I had a bunch of bad stuff that was going on, like work related at that time. And I was just feeling like, okay, God give his toughest battles to the strongest soldiers. I was feeling a little weak. I ain't gonna lie, I'm feeling a little weak. But I knew good had to be coming, and then like boom, this hit, this autoimmune disease, and I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, so after this, and granted, I had an interview, a job interview, literally an hour after I had this allergic reaction. I killed it, by the way. I didn't get that job. I actually know who did, and shout out to him. Like, that's my boo. But I'm very resilient. So no matter what, I knew that I was going to be okay. I knew that, you know, things were gonna work out. I did have a moment of weakness where I was a little scared, okay? Players mess up too. But for the most part, like, I really did, you know, after I was okay, feel like, okay, I'm meant to be here. I'm here for a reason. Now, what is that reason? So that's what gets me into today's conversation. Because if you are in your 20-somethings and you're feeling like you should be doing more, 9 times out of 10, acknowledge what you have been doing. Because, I mean, there are people out here who aren't trying at all. And they aren't looking for, you know, their purpose or working towards their purpose. And I am very spiritual, and I know that, like, what God has for me, I mean, it's beyond anything that I can dream up. And I know that I like to talk, I like to give back, I really enjoy mentoring. And so I knew my purpose has to be around, I don't know, these 3 things. And I love talking about hair, so I guess 4. So somehow I would be able to give back by educating. And I'm still trying to figure out this whole purpose thing, right? Because for a while I was chasing my passion. Like, I'm trying to figure out, what am I passionate about? I literally was asking myself this question every year since 25. And I really couldn't come up with anything. I still can't, honestly. But I was watching Pastor Michael Todd on Transformation Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Like, I'm a part of Transformation Nation. I have my home church, you know, shout out to Greater Grace Temple. But I am a very big fan. I've been watching Pastor Michael Todd for years now. And I'm a really big fan of his sermons. So he was talking about, more recently, he was talking about, you know, your passion versus purpose. Are you chasing the paper, right? And that just meant, are you trying to find this passion of yours that's gonna bring you all of this money, but is it what God wants for you? And I was just like, ooh, that's deep, because I definitely was walking around here trying to figure out a passion that, yeah, I can enjoy, and that can be, you know. Oh, by the way, how do y'all talk and do makeup? Like, I don't get it. Ugh. I'm trying, y'all. Give me grace. So this is LA Girl Pro Conceal, the HD high definition. You can get this from like the local beauty supply store. This color is in dark cocoa. And I did this for my contour. I really don't contour too much because my cheekbones are already defined. I don't know if you noticed that before. So I'll do here. Maybe I'll do around, you know, my hairline. But honestly, I don't care. Like, this is a very simple makeup tutorial. So please don't think that I'm some sort of makeup guru because I just do what works for me. Okay? So yeah, I was really walking around here thinking that I needed to find this purpose where I could be making money and it could replace my job. But honestly, like, I didn't know where to look, and I was doing too much trying to control life. Like, that is my biggest point. You cannot control everything. Like, I am now 27 years old, and I feel as though that whole planner mentality, trying to plan out my life to a T, I've realized, yes, I'm going to take the steps to prepare so that when God performs whatever miracles and presents whatever opportunities, that I'm ready. But I'm not going to plan for it. And I'm not going to sit up here and just chase paper when it may not even be what God wants for my life. So that is what I want to really emphasize here, because find what you are naturally good at. Do you have like this voice in the back of your mind that really says, you know, that keeps trying to tell you to go a certain direction? Like, that may be God's voice. Like, I'm very intuitive to myself and how I'm feeling and, you know, what's going on with my body. And I could just feel like this came naturally. Like, starting YouTube came natural for me. I love editing. And I'm very creative. And so this wasn't work at all for me. But my background is in communications and emphasizing in public relations, and also I have a background in business marketing. So a lot of it was, I think, predestined for me, and it's still falling into place. But it's one of those things that I'm learning to just accept, and just like water flows, like I'm flowing, but then I'm preparing, you know, areas of my life, and I'm doing the research, and I'm, you know, making the connections. I'm trying to reach out and network, things like that, so that when I get the opportunity, it's gonna just fall into place. Now, side note about makeup, how do you all blend? Like, what tools, what brushes? You know, do you like the beauty blender to blend your face? Drop that down in the comments, because I'm very curious. Like, I really don't do too much, to be honest. If you haven't noticed, my makeup styles and all of my videos are fairly the same. Like, unless I have somewhere to go or I just want to be cute, then I'll do something a little special. But for the most part, they're very, very natural, and I like it that way, to be honest. Like, I don't like a heavy face of makeup. One, because that's a lot to scrub and clean, and, you know, I do exfoliate, not as much as I should. And let me know if you want me to talk about like skincare routines, because I mean, naturally, if you don't take care of your skin, your makeup is not gonna look good. So let's just get that out there. But that is my rant for today. I wanted to come in here and really be open and honest about real conversations that like 20-somethings have. And again, like, part of my mentoring, I really like helping like my sisters and my cousins. I make a point of talking to them about these things, and I always say, like, I went through this so you didn't have to go through this. Because I mean, we were young at one point, and I did things that it's like, why you do that? Like, you be looking side-eye at yourself. I definitely was there. And if I can inform my younger cousin and, you know, my sister, she's, you know, she's ahead of her time, but you know, inform them about the things that I've done that is like I would do differently. Like, I'm going to do that, because that's the giver in me, that's the mentor in me. And I mean, even some of my closest friends who I mentored in college, oh my goodness, like, they're amazing. We still have checkups, you know, on a regular basis, and it really needs to be like on a more regular basis, but they'll let me know what's going on with their lives. And, you know, I'll let them know what's going on with my life. Like, it's a two-way street, and it never stops. Like, I don't think that relationship will ever go away. And it's a beautiful thing. Like, I talk to my mentor on a regular basis. Like, we try to go out at least once a month because, you know, life. And it's busy, so you may not always get to, but we do try to make a point of getting together, because you need those people around you to, you know, that are like-minded, that can invest in you, encourage you, like give back, you know, positive energy, because your circle really does determine like your outlook or your motivation. Like, I know some people are motivated intrinsically or like internally, and that's fine and all, but like everyone slips up, and there's certain times in life where you do need that circle to just kind of push you if you don't know what direction you want to go. Because there are times where it's like, I don't know what to do. Like, what am I good at? Like, and I know these things now, but there was a time where it was like, I mean, I'm kind of good at this, but I'm kind of good, like, just jack of all trades, master of none. But the people in my circle would bring out and point out areas where it's like, no, Heaven, like, you really bomb in X, Y, and Z. And so that's why it's important to have that circle, because you never know, you know, when you're going to need that motivation, and just naturally having those people around you can really benefit you. Now, if you don't have those people around you, like, then I would consider like therapy is not a bad option. If you don't want to talk to therapy and you're close with your family, like, that's another option. Here, I'm just taking like a blending brush, and whatever is left on this brush from like some fancy night of makeup, then that's what you are seeing show up on my eyelid. And it's from the Morphe palette. This is 25C Hey Girl Hey. So it's like a bunch of neutral colors. I'm really into neutral shades. So it's a bunch of neutral colors. I'm pretty sure what I have on is Natty, which is this one here. And really, like, I probably can do a touch. I can do a touch of Ella, which is like this brown color. But you really don't need that much. So yeah, your circle definitely makes a difference. And you want to make sure that the people in your circle aren't low-key haters. And they aren't trying to, you know, always bag on you or joke on you or point out your flaws or insecurities, because they're really not your friends. So, and it doesn't matter what length of time that you have known this person. And while we're touching on friends, you know, while you're going through this quarter life crisis and enlightening period, everyone's not going to be able to go with you. Like, pause. This is the Fenty Beauty, the Fly Pencil Longwear Pencil Eyeliner. So I have the liquid eyeliner too, but I'm not doing my top lid. I'm only doing my bottom lid, and that's what I like to use, regular pencil eyeliner. And the shade, oof. What shade is this in, girl? Cause I'm black, okay? Okay? So while we're touching on friends, I like to mention everyone is not going to be able to go on this journey with you. And as you elevate and as you tolerate different things and as you expect different things in your life, and, you know, all of the energy that you're putting out that you want to receive, people may not align with this elevated, not to say that you're above them, but just that you want more for yourself. And so everyone's not going to be able to make it. So it's no harm or no love lost. But have you ever heard of everyone's in your life for a season, and some are meant to be here forever, throughout your entire life? And some people are meant to be in your life for particular times where you're supposed to grow, where you're supposed to learn, where you're supposed to, you know, understand heartbreak, or you're supposed to experience, you know, failure. And you have to recognize some people, some friends may only be there for a season. And that doesn't mean that you lose any love, but maybe they're just not meant to go to this next chapter, this next place in your life. And that is a hard pill to swallow, depending on who this person is. I mean, I've had friendships for like 10 plus years, and we can go months, we can go weeks, we can go years, you know, without talking. But then when we talk again, it's like we never miss a beat. And that's important. You know, these are people who I call my lifelong friends. These are my forever friends. And so I'm never worried about if they're going to be there for me, you know, during one of my times where I'm really to myself. You know, I'm like an extroverted introvert because I do like my own space a lot of the time. And I don't feel like talking. I'm not always social. But then there are other times, you know, you would never know because I get out here in front of all these folk and I put on a great face and I can talk and I can hang with the best of them. My friends know me. They know it's like, okay, you know, I'm going to give you your time. And I know that when you're ready to come out and socialize and, you know, be a part of the mix, that you will. And so I appreciate that with them because I go through stuff just like everyone else goes through stuff. And to have these lifelong friends who I believe are here for a lifetime, you know, of seasons, having them in my corner so that, you know, I know there's no love lost just because we don't talk every day. Also here I'm using, I really like Fenty Beauty. This is the Full Frontal Volume Lift and Curl Mascara. So this is also in because I'm black. And so I just add, I mean, I have pretty good eyelashes. I would love to get individual eyelashes. Again, that's a whole nother story why I can't. But had an allergic reaction with that. Actually like 2 years straight of wearing them, but whatever. And I'll just add this mascara. This is like my final step. So, moral of my story today, make sure that you realize you cannot control everything, okay? It's God's plan over yours. And he laughs at our plans, so you might as well just take a back seat, but prepare yourself so that when he presents that opportunity for you, then you're ready for it. And then my second point is during this time of like growth and enlightenment, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, this new phase that you enter, everyone's not going to be able to go with you. And that's okay. Okay? Don't feel bad about that. I mean, you can grieve what was, but don't harp in that moment. I'm just going to finish on my eyes, adding the mascara, and then I'm going to take my hair down. I'm going to speed through that. I'm going to show you what I do to remind you. But you've seen me take down my hair before. So, I'll be back. Alright, so this is our final look. It is a bit more voluminous because good old low porosity hair, it's not fully dry yet. So normally my twist outs are way more defined, but this is okay. You know, I'm not hating on this. Okay, it's giving me a little bit of volume. It's still gonna dry throughout the day. I can dig this. Like, this isn't bad at all. So that concludes today's video. Thank you so much for joining us. If you've made it this far, like, I feel you, I see you, and I want more of us to make it this far. You get what I'm saying? Please drop comments down below. Give suggestions. What do you want to see? What do you want me to talk about? This is kind of like a segue into lifestyle videos. I'm very private, but like I'm trying to open up more for you guys. So, I mean, really give me topics that I can talk about. I'm here for it, okay? Thank you so much for those who have already commented on previous videos. I do my best to get to all of them. So if I have not, you know, YouTube be trying to clown me and I can't see everybody's videos or everyone's comments. So we're working on that, but I do intend on replying to everybody's comments. I appreciate your support and to keep rocking with me. Like, we got a lot more to talk about. Please subscribe, hit that bell notification just so you know when I drop new videos, and like this video if you found it to be helpful or interesting or whatever, okay? Thank you so much again, and we will see you next time. Bye.